Welcome back. January 21st, 2021, in the year of our Lord. The Gratu Orloff television program, again coming to you in color. Forgive my appearance, just got out of the shower. Damn it. Shit. Well, comic books. Let's get back to it. Here's something kind of interesting. I was teaching 6th graders years ago, and when they finished their work, I had these little coloring sheets that I had for them to color, and they loved it, but I took coloring sheets out of old vintage coloring books from the 60s and stuff, or any time I could find a good black and white illustration that would make for a good coloring sheet. So I made some of this Jack Kirby illustration that was done for a Fantastic Four t-shirt, and the kids had never, the kid that I handed this to had never heard of the Fantastic Four. So I just wanted you to see the coloring choices that a kid makes, never having heard of the Fantastic Four. How would they color them? So I'll show you. Look at this, and I need to kind of frame this because it's really cool. They got the uniform color right, but somehow she has kind of Antifa looking hair. The thing is green, and I like how they colored under his eyes yellow. I think they thought that was part of his eye, and that was the pupil, instead of being, it's just interesting. Interesting choice is someone that's complete unknown to the Fantastic Four comic books and what choices they make. I thought that was neat. I just found this in a drawer. I save all kinds of stuff because I was really proud of my students, and I was teaching students that were pretty new to the country and they were learning English, and I taught them to love reading and writing. But those are the old days. Now I teach you guys about comic books, and it's shit you already know, so it doesn't really matter. But at least I'm entertaining someone as I fight mental fog and confusion as I get older in my retirement. Here's an interesting thought. If you gave a crayon to a 4-year-old and you said, draw a Martian. Well, no, you didn't give a crayon. Give a box of crayons to a 4-year-old. What color would they pull out of the crayon box? Did you say green? Why green? Why are we conditioned, seemingly from birth, to think of Martians as being green? I mean, in the Warner Brothers cartoons, Marvin the Martian isn't green, but why do we think of Martians as little green men? I'll tell you. And I used to tell my students this because every year, for many years, they didn't have a curriculum. They just said, okay, make sure the kids by the end of the year know these things. And I said, okay, so I can use whatever I want, whatever books I want to bring in and make photocopies of, and what stories I wanted to have them read, what projects, what writing assignments. I had so much fun. But then later they brought in a set curriculum. This is what you must teach, these books each year, these all. That was nonsense. That's when things went downhill. But a book I had them read every year, and it was written for perfectly okay for 7th graders to read in like 1912, but our educational system and our intelligence as a population has gone down, because people don't read as much. So anyway, the book that I had them read was Edgar Rice Burroughs' A Princess of Mars, the first of his Martian stories. A story that, and of course, the thing about A Princess of Mars, and there was a movie made a few years ago. Disney tried to do a movie, and they just called it John Carter, and it bombed, and it wasn't a bad movie. It tried to throw too much of the original trilogy into it. There were things that would have done differently. And the problem it faced is that people saw the trailers during the Super Bowl and thought it was a Star Wars ripoff, not realizing that Star Wars and Flash Gordon and Superman and just about everything you know came from that. And even that took, from mythology and stuff before. But, when George Lucas says, yes, of course, I studied the universal myths and the journey, the hero's journey. Yes, that's what I did. No, you just stole. I'm not knocking Star Wars. The first 2.5 movies, Star Wars Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, wasn't bad. Those movies changed my life, but I knew even as a kid that they weren't completely original. So, okay, so this Civil War soldier is telling you his story. It's written in first person. And he says, I don't ever remember being a child. I have no memory of being a child. I assume I'm related to this family because I've always been with them. But, I've been around. I fought in the Civil War. I fought in other wars before that. I've always been like the way I am right now, about 30 years. Everyone says I'm about 30 years old. But anyway, it's a manuscript left to Edgar Rice Burroughs. Edgar Rice Burroughs is saying, I found this manuscript from my great uncle or whatever. So, he says, well, I've been to Mars, and someday scientists will discover enough about Mars that you'll see that what I'm about to tell you is true. And he says, I've been to Mars, and I want to go back there because that's where my beloved wife and unborn when I left child are. And he says, and Edgar Rice Burroughs is saying, yeah, I remember my uncle would always go out in the middle of the night when he thought no one was looking and put his arms up to the stars like he was hoping for, anyway, he was wanting to be sucked back up to Mars, but anyway, when he gets to Mars, long story short, he has powers. He has, the Martians all can communicate telepathically. No one can read his mind. He has super strength. He can jump like the early Superman before Superman could fly. He has a red cape. I mean, and the Star Wars elements. Whenever you've got they call it space opera, when you've got the ray guns, but they're also fighting with swords. There's old-fashioned element with the newfangled stuff, that you see in Flash Gordon, and then of course Star Wars. That all goes back to John Carter. And it's the whole thing. A princess is kidnapped. You have to rescue the princess. And a lot of the words that. The Empire came, I think. There was stuff that came from the Foundation trilogy, Isaac Asimov, but a lot of the words, it's not coincidence, and it may have been accidental. It may have been like George Harrison when he wrote My Sweet Lord and didn't realize he was actually stealing He's So Fine, and the court bore that was true, but just said, we don't think he did it on purpose. It was just in his subconscious. But, okay, so there are these giant mosquitoes on Mars, which is called Barsoom. They're called Siths, S-I-T-H. And, Darth Vader was the Dark Lord of the Sith. And then the kings on Mars were called Jedaks, or Jeds. The fact, the word Jedi, come on. He was taking this from the old paperbacks he'd read, when he was a hot rodder in Modesto, California, whatever. George Lucas is what I'm talking about. And, of course, by the time he started making those awful prequels, he was just asking his kids, hey, kids, what would be a good name for this little monster guy here? And they say, Jar Jar, or Goo Goo. Let's call him Dookie, Count Dookie. Yeah, that sounds good, Uncle George. Oh, that sounds like a great alien name. So, anyway. Star Wars. Oh, A Princess of Mars. Great. So I'd have the kids read A Princess of Mars. We'd read through the whole novel. One year we read part of The Gods of Mars. We read the first Tarzan. And the kids that I taught went on to become teachers and went on to become important people, and got into private schools and stuff. And before, they had, many of them, no chance. No one in their family had ever gone to college. We're talking a heavily gang-influenced neighborhood at the time. And anyway, not to toot my own horn, but I like to challenge people and have people read. And how did I start talking about John Carter and Edgar Rice Burroughs? Oh, back to my original thought. The first Martians, there are different races on Mars. They all evolved from the same creatures, but they're these red men, and those are the ones that are closest to human beings. And John Carter, of course, falls in love with Princess Dejah Thoris, who's one of the red men, right? But those aren't the Martians he sees first. The first Martians he sees are hatching out of little eggs. They're little green men with 4 arms. They're little guys. So the first Martians that John Carter sees are little green men. Of course, they grow up to be 15 feet tall, men do, and the women, I think, grow up to be about 12 feet tall and have 4 arms and big tusks and little antenna-looking suction cups. So if you ask a kid to draw a Martian, they're going to draw a little green man with antenna, and of course they were called Tharks, had these little antennae that are a little mushroom shaped. And I was first exposed to John Carter through the Marvel comics, and then I read the novels. A friend of mine, he read the novels first. That's admirable. But I just wasn't aware enough. And this is back in the, Marvel started their John Carter comic right about the same time as Star Wars. And the guys at Marvel knew what they were doing. They thought, well, Star Wars is selling. Hey, let's get this Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff. Let's get the rights to that before DC was doing it. And those weren't bad. Badly done either. Okay, so fun. Back to the fun of bagging comics. These are the posters I was telling you about that you can make. Captain Strangelove does this with comic covers and with cool advertisements out of comics. He turns them into posters. Go to, I don't think they call it Kinko's anymore. Was it FedEx or whatever? They won't do it because they're afraid they're violating copyright. But you do it on your own. But anyway, then you can make these big. See, these used to hang in my classroom. That's why they got this stupid blue. That teacher gummy stick it up stuff. I'm losing my vocabulary as I rot in this horrible communist world. Okay. Oh, just to show you, give you scale. This just happened to be here. Not pre-planned. See, this is a real copy of Monster World, and see, I blew it up. Well, if you can get a sense of scale. See, you blow it up to this size, and then it's even cooler. Even cooler, man. Okay, back to the comics. Okay, what are we at? As I recall, I'm running low on Silver Age boards. And by running low, I mean I don't have any at all. That's really running low, so. Oh, and I really can't afford to make a journey out to Cosmic Comics and buy more, but I guess I might. I don't know, is it $6 or $8? I don't recall. Let's see what we got here. Oh, speaking of Edgar Rice Burroughs, here's a cool gold key Tarzan. Now on TV, they're referring to the Ron Ely. I always forget how that's pronounced. Anyway, there was a Tarzan TV show in 1966, Ron Ely, who also played Doc Savage. But the Doc Savage that you see on the paperback covers, you know, the painted paperback covers, that's a real guy. His name is Steve Holland. He posed for all those paperback covers. And if you want to see him in action, and you can see it on YouTube for free, there was a Flash Gordon TV show in the 50s, and Steve Holland played Flash Gordon. So you can actually see, it's like really watching Doc Savage. It's a black and white show. It was actually filmed in Germany. It was an American show. I mean, it's filmed in English, but it was made in Germany. I don't know. Confusing. Okay. This one looks like this might be a little thinner. This might be later on in the 60s. So I'm going to see if this fits in a Silver Age bag. If not, I'll put it in a Golden Age bag. So I've got them already pre-boarded, man, bear, pig style. And it fits. So Gold Key, at some point in the 60s, changed sizes and started printing a more standard size for the Silver Age. Oh, here's another copy of Tip Topper that I got as probably a 7th grader at Lone Star Comics, which was my local comic store back in the 70s. And I thought, boy, I'm getting a Golden Age comic. And I told you that before, I was just really thrilled that I was getting a 10-cent comic. And it must not have cost much, because I wouldn't have been able to afford it. Hearing screaming outside. Must be Antifa. I see that they're destroying the Democrat headquarters in Seattle. It's like, even after they win, they're still angry. But we aren't talking about politics anymore on the new improved Gratu Orloff television program. No discussion of these communist filth allowed here. Fritzy Ritz, who's also on the cover. So they have, reprints of Ferdinand and Little Abner, and like Sunday comic strips reprinted in here. And Charlie Brown, the early Charlie Brown, where he looked like that. The early 50s Charlie Brown. It's like horrific screaming outside. What are the neighbors doing? Horrifying. Yeah. And again, the gun ad. Let's see. April, May 1953. And I think it's going to fit in a Silver Age bag. Oh, and then they had a big deal. Nobody was there together. It was all done kind of Zoom, like from different locales, so they won't catch the big V, CV, whatever. Anyway, they had a big ceremony for bands playing, whatever, for Biden last night, and Tom Hanks hosted it. And boy, that was I saw about 30 seconds. I fast forwarded through the YouTube of it. It looked horrible. Bruce Springsteen looks about Biden's age. That's another shameful secret. I've never liked Bruce Springsteen, and he's supposed to be one of the greats. You gotta like him. Like, you know, you gotta like the Grateful Dead. Aren't they just wonderful? Why no, I don't like that. um, although the guy in his band, Little Steven, had a really, you know, he has really good taste in music. He used to have a good podcast on, I don't remember where, some station I used to listen to on the internet. Oh, it was on that Sirius. I used to have Sirius. I used to be addicted to Howard Stern. I loved Howard Stern so much. And then he went on the Sirius XM, whatever the hell you call it. And then it's never quite the same. Because when you're allowed to say whatever you want, it's just not as funny as when you're right up to the edge of getting in trouble. It's just funnier. That's why people laugh when someone farts in a real serious place. You know, it's funny. You know, but when when you have total freedom to do it, it's just not as fun anymore. The Weird World of J. Evil, Mr. and Mrs. J. Evil Scientist. They were out of the Flintstones, weren't they? Yeah, pretty sure. They're another Addams Family type thing. They also had the Gruesomes. The Gruesomes were out of... Wait, the Gruesomes were the Addams Family out of the Flintstones. So Mr. and Mrs. J. Evil Scientist, not to be confused with the Little Monsters. They were all Frankenstein-looking people. But the mom here is not a Frankenstein-looking person. This is more Addams Family. I could easily Google it, but it's obviously Charles Addams expired. They must have come out of some other Hanna-Barbera cartoon, like Snooper and Blagglepoose or something. I don't remember. That's not fitting. Why am I even trying a Silver Age bag? Am I out of my mind? Because not only is this wider, it's also got a spine roll, which makes it wider. Which I'm sure could be pressed out, but I don't want to press. And probably never will until we sell this house and move somewhere else where we actually would have some extra money. Whew. Excuse me, I have the tape dispenser holding the iPhone in place, which is probably not the best form of tripod. Oh my goodness gracious me. Learn to hate in the 80s. Remember the 1980s, ladies and gentlemen? What a wonderful time. Oh, yes. The Man from U.N.C.L.E. So, I don't know. Man from U.N.C.L.E. indeed. We'll go into a golden age setup. It's another horribly depressing day here in Grotuville. The weather is gray and depressing. And the only time gray skies are cool is when you know it's like gonna snow. And it's not that kind of gray sky. It's like gray sky. Just, I don't know. Will the sun ever come out again after Trump has left us? I just don't know. It was like Puff the Magic Dragon leaving off from what the hell was the island he lived on? Puff the Magic. My guitar is too far away, or I would sing it to you. But Puff got all depressed because little Jackie Paper would never come. See, man, that's what happens in the old beatnik folk music. People have a few too many, you know. It's like, let's call him Jackie Paper, and he'll be Puff, the Magic Dragon. They'll never catch the marijuana references. Well, see, this is the original comic from which I blew this up back in the old days. I blew this up back in, I'd say I did this about 1996. Then I laminated it. You may not have, well, yeah, you can get it laminated at the copy shop. Dinosaurus. Ah, yes. Speaking of Doc Savage, here he is again. Doc Savage was another inspiration for Superman. He was the Man of Bronze, and of course Superman was the Man of Steel. Oh, and you got the image on the back, and that's old Steve Holland. Yeah. Superman was part Doc Savage, part John Carter, and Batman was part Zorro and part Leonardo da Vinci, and we were talking about. I was talking about, I was agreeing with Night Tiger that Mandrake the Magician's the first comic strip superhero, but then I was saying in popular fiction, well, I don't know. Mandrake, I think, goes back before Doc Savage, but I was talking about John Carter and Tarzan are kind of, superheroes, and that's back the early, first decade, pretty much, right after the first decade of the 20th century. But then I forgot, well, what about Zorro? I did mention Sherlock Holmes in my defense, but when did Zorro start? I'm not sure. I think it might go back, maybe also the early 1900s. I don't know. There's no telling. And I don't know. I just blabber on out of insanity and loneliness. And what I'm saying, you probably should double check it all. Google it. Make sure, or DuckDuckGo it, to make sure that I'm not feeding you a line of bullshit. I'm not intentionally doing so. Oh, Diver Dan. I've talked about this before. You gotta seek out Diver Dan here on YouTube. You got fish that smoke cigarettes underwater. It's a show from the 50s or very early 60s where you got this human diver and these fish talk to him, and so it's filmed like he's underwater, right? But I just love the fish that smokes the cigarette. And of course he's in love with this mermaid. Yeah, you gotta watch it, It's great. Diver Dan. They've got episodes on YouTube. I mean, everything's on YouTube. Diver Dan. Huckleberry Hound. Finally getting all these Golden Age books sleeved. I bought a bunch of Golden Age bags and boards not too long ago. Now I can finally get this done. Pebbles Flintstone. They had a contest where the winner to find a name for Fred and Wilma's baby, and Pebbles was the name. I don't remember what they won. Probably a rock. Oh, I definitely gotta get this in a sleeve. One of the greatest covers of all time. That definitely needs to be on a comic wall. We were gonna go look at a house in Virginia. I was gonna get on a plane and go look at it. And then my wife was gonna be the one to get on a plane and go look at it. One of us has to stay because of the dog and everything. And then it's like, well, no, let's wait and see what happens, on on the 6th, and then, you know, because we didn't know if the world was going to go mad, and of course it did partially go mad, and then now the question is Virginia the best place to go because it's got like that horrible Democrat governor, you know, that idiot that wears blackface but wants to confiscate everyone's guns, you know, what is the best place to go? And then this friend of ours is moving to Alabama, and then I've heard other people tell us Alabama's the place to go. But I kind of wanted to be by the Blue Ridge Mountains, West Virginia, Tennessee, Virginia, something like that. I just wanted to be a place where I can see bluegrass music and look at the mountains and be around people. Because the town I was looking at, 85% of the people voted for Trump, so I figured that's got to be a good town. It'd be better if it was 100%. But we don't talk politics here on the Great Gratu Orloff Show, so stop talking about politics. How dare you? Neutro. Metarog has a copy of this too. And the general consensus is that it's pretty terrible, although looking at that panel, you would... Actually, that panel's the front cover, isn't it? I mean, just looking at individual panels, you'd think it's great. But then try reading it. Neutro. Yes, indeed. Neutro. Wait, this should go in a Silver Age. Do me a favor, because I want to like make money doing these shows, because then I can buy bags and boards with the, because I hear you get like $5, $10, maybe $30 a month from YouTube if you get monetized, but I only need about 840 more subscribers, so tell your friends and family and enemies to subscribe and hit the like button and smash the comment button and put some words, and then like the smash button, and then post this wherever, your Facebook page if you have one of those still. Anyway, how dare you? Just help Gratu out, man. I don't know how to get more subscribers, man. I'm stalled at 164, but I got a ton more due to Night Tiger and Captain Strange Life and people talking about me and stuff. This is a great Tarzan cover. I made a poster of this one too. I think it's hanging on the hallway, as I recall. Yeah, see the artwork inside never quite matches that. And Dell is, well, this is Dell, but Dell and Gold Key were both kind of that way. Oh my gosh. Oh, and look at this cover. Well, look at this back cover. What am I talking about? That is, oh, I love the advertising of the mid-century, when you would sell shoes with spacemen and call them super jets. It almost just brings tears to your eyes to realize how our society is degenerated with the hippie generation, the socialists, now in places of power in the educational system and the government, and it's just filthy, horrible people. Man, you should not be rich. As in politics, you should not be rich. You don't make enough that you should be living in multi-million-dollar mansions. You shouldn't have multiple homes. Why would Bernie Sanders have multiple mansions? Why? What is going on? That's just, it doesn't make sense. Be like Harry Truman. He leaves the White House, he drives himself home. When he left the White House, he didn't have someone drive him. He wanted to get out on the highways that had just been built and see what they were like. He hadn't driven a car in years. He'd had people driving him as president and then before as vice president. So he actually got pulled over. I just heard this story on the radio because he was driving 35 miles an hour and his wife trying to get home to their modest house because they were not multiple billionaires, because they weren't crooked, horrible people. We're looking at a lot of Tarzan covers today. Hope you don't mind. If you do, what's wrong with you? It looks like I'm really running out of bags and boards. So, I may have to move to a different phase of the this. Oh shit! Oh, I see what I need to do. Oh, here's another tip topper. Just what I was looking for. A place to mail my insurance premium. Ooh, and this smells so great. There's, in the EC Mad comic, there's a parody of this ad that's brilliant. But the original ad is terrific. And of course, it wouldn't be an issue of Tip Topper without, oh, you could get a Luger. Oh, a German 9mm Luger. Authentic replicas reproduced in actual size, design, and balance. Made of solid cast aluminum, finished in gunmetal black. In other words, they look like real guns. Of course, now, in our sissy culture, you have to have little red or orange tips so that a policeman doesn't think that you're pointing a real gun at them when you're out playing cowboy and Indian in your front yard. As if anyone would do that anymore, because now no kid ever leaves their home. They live in their virtual tablets and maybe their virtual reality goggles, their Fortnite, whatever. I don't know that kids ride bikes. I don't know. It seems like I saw that a couple of times in the last few years, but kids live in this virtual world of, they don't read comics for sure. And, I mean, if you want to get kids to read comics again, you're going to have to put them where kids are. And they try to put comics in Walmart, but they charge too much for them, and it's just so now comics are aimed at 50-year-olds and social justice warriors that do not buy comic books, but they want to continue to keep pushing all their agendas in these comics. Oh, more Silver Age bags, excellent. Just don't have boards. Okay, here's another copy of T-Man. I think this fits in Silver Age bags, though. There's Charles Atlas again. This comic has been very well loved. Turn your waste gas into superpower. I am Fartman. Will it fit in this? Let's see. Your waste gas into a superpower. Alright, what we got here? A couple more issues of T-Man. Obviously, I bought all these at the same time. Comic no one's ever heard of. Yet another Charles Atlas ad. Wow, Disneyland color television set. Yeah, that's great. This comic is again well loved by the same lover. That word lover has always been kind of disgusting. to me. People say, yes, this is my wife and my lover. I was like, oh, yeah, really? And it's like some 70-year-old man telling you that. Just kind of like, who talks like that? T-Man, worldwide troubleshooter. Old hippies, that's who it is. How to hypnotize. Hippies are ruining our world. No, this is too tight. Okay. Golden Age bags. Wait. So I just got these random bags that just fall everywhere. I don't know what size this is. I think it's, maybe this is Golden Age. No, too snug. Come on. Okay, I guess I'll use that. It's too big, but it's all right. Oh, man. Let's find another Golden Age comic. Come on. Pardon me. Please stand by. Here's one. Wait, this is two comics. Lucy, the Real Gone Gal, and Looney Tunes. Still 10 cents. Wonder what year this is for them to be saying still 10 cents. Comics went from 10 to 12 cents. What about 61? September 59. So they saw the writing on the wall even in late 1959 that they're going to have to raise their price to the exorbitant price of 12 cents soon. I'm going to have to make another disc of Gratu Radio because I keep, out of sheer laziness, playing the same thing over and over again. Let's take a look at Lucy, the Real Gone Gal. From what company does this comic book spring? Damn. What? This battery is just about kaput. St. John Publishing. If you can get a girlish figure. Peggy in Television Night. Okay, this one is very well loved. You know, so this is very well loved. The other one was well loved. This one was anally loved without lube. There's different types of comic book love, and some are more devastating. But the owner of this was more gentle and romantic than the savage love enacted upon that comic book. I'd better stop while I'm ahead. I'll make you all vomit. And you just ate breakfast. just now you had breakfast. That's hilarious. We had poached eggs from, I went out and got the poached eggs, brought them home. It was just, they were really good with some kind of object made out of potatoes next to it. Grits, for home style, fructose. I don't know what they're called. I don't know these earth words. What kind of freaking bag is this Golden Age? I hope it is. I couldn't have used up all the Golden Age. God. Where are the Golden Age bags? There was a whole... I don't think I couldn't have bagged 100, because I bought 100 Golden Age bags, and these are gold, and I bought 100 Golden Age boards, and I've got this many boards, so that means I should have this many bags somewhere. I don't know where they went. It's driving me to drink. No, it's not vodka. It's purified drinking water, I'll have you know. Coal. Coal's in a mylight. It just needs a board. I'll steal a board out of one of these. Nobody appreciates Kull, the destroyer. Well, he's the conqueror here. He's also the destroyer, I'll have you know. Kull of Atlantis. Great art in these Kull comics. But Red Sonja and Conan get all the love. There's a terrible Kull movie made. It had heavy metal music in it. The guy that played the guy that played Hercules in that Sam Raimi TV show, Kevin Sorbo, played Kull. He seems like a nice guy. He makes Christian movies now. He's one of the only conservatives in Hollywood. Okay, well, that's just great. They're not very good movies, but at least he's trying to not be another Satan-worshipping communist cannibal. Apparently Tom Hanks is like a really bad guy. I had no idea. I hear these horrible stories about him. And yet he's always been portrayed as this, our generation's Jimmy Stewart, just the nicest guy. He's a little cowboy puppet, you know. He's just a nice guy. But I hear these horrible rumors that he is not what he seems. Can you imagine? All right. Oh, I was showing you this. Oh, that's where there's another Christmas comic. It has to go in the other room. Shit. Okay, I was showing you this yesterday. This Sabrina comic that is done in the Archie House style. That is kind of jarring. Well, after a while, they realized, oh, hey, you know, this is kind of weird that we're doing this devil worshipping horrible stuff in the Archie style. So why don't we do it in a different style, so as not to confuse parents. So here's what it looked like before too long. Instead of saying Archie series at the top, it says Red Circle. So this is Chilling Adventures in Sorcery number 3. So I showed you number 1 last time. There's number 2, and then number 3 suddenly looks like this. And it has Gray Morrow art. Not Gray Matter, Gray Morrow. One of the greatest cartoonists. That board is too... That was too snug. That's just right. Okay, I'm at a impasse as far as one phase of this until I get new bags and boards. So, but it's okay. It's all right. Ooh, what a cool cover. Look at that, man. Perfect, because the music that you're hearing was actually in Iron Man cartoons. Here's old Iron Jaw. And good old Chili. But you will have to be bagged and boarded another day, Chili. Bagged and boarded, that sounds a little inappropriate. Dennis the Menace with guest star Gina. Gina. She was introduced in the 70s to diversify the cast. I can't remember if Gina is Italian or Hispanic, but I think, you know, they were trying to make the cast more diverse. I remember that. Oh my goodness. Strange. There's this 15 cent, but it is not from the 15 cent era because it's clearly 50s. You know, that is not for 15 cent era, would be like 1969, 1970. So why do they charge 15 cents for this Dell comic? Let's see what year it is. May, July 1961. Oh, that's right before they went to 12 cents. They must have experimented go with the 15 cent price and realized kids were not going to pay 15 cents. So they decided, let's go with 12. I think that must be what happened. I'm sure that some of you out there would be able to tell me, but I think Dell must have gone with an experiment. How high can we go without cutting our own throats? These were newspaper supplements, weren't they? Yeah. There's no price on them. I mean, obviously it didn't sell for 12 cents. I think they put these Spider-Man reprints about 10, 15 years ago in Sunday editions of newspapers. I don't know if they have any value. I don't know. Oh, here's a comic. Do I have a board? It's just, here's a comic. Listen to me. No, it's not one of the gold key that's golden age size. It's a silver age size, but I ran out of silver age boards. Oh, shit. Okay, these need to go in the other room, so I'll put them over here where the comics will be sent off, deported to the other room where the Bronze Age comics must be. Here's some more Bronze Age. Marvel Premiere number 9. All-Star 64 and 65. See, this is the one. These had Wally Wood art. You see that they had common sense in the 70s when they brought back this comic that had not been published since the early 50s. They started with they didn't start with number 1. They started with the last issue that had been published, and that makes sense. And today, all these comic companies keep starting over again, and I don't like that. Okay, I'm gonna use this slide viewer to hold the phone up because I need the tape dispenser. See, that's, and then I'm almost out of tape. Ah, poverty, it's such a horrible thing. I wonder how long I can make a show now. I freed up space on my phone by uninstalling YouTube and then reinstalling it, and I freed up gigabytes. So maybe I can make a longer broadcast. I'm gonna see how far it goes. I've got this phone actually plugged in, so the battery will remain charged. I'm gonna experiment. Ridiculous. Oh, Doctor Strange. The audience applauds as I get another one into. Okay, great, fantastic. All right. I thought you were an empty box. What the fuck? Freaking hell! Where did that box go? There was an empty short box here. That's in the other room. Is it in the other room? Yeah. The short box, the empty short box. You know the one I'm talking about? Yeah. Do you know what is that on the 5th, 6th, or 7th floor? Okay. All right. So you think it's in the Bronze Age room? Okay. I'm not far from there, so I'll go check because I think you're down on the 3rd floor, right? Yeah. All right. Well, be seeing you. All right. So let's go see if that short box is in the other room because I need it. But can I walk into the other room is the question. Okay, while I go, I'm going to take some of these comics that belong in the other room and must be evacuated, airlifted out of here. These comics here. They are Bronze Age and do not belong in this room. Okay. Wow. Here's Peep the Cat waiting on us. Oh, it's a mess in here. I don't think that box is in here. I think he's wrong. No, maybe he's right. It might be under the civil defense helmet. Okay. The civil defense helmet I had on the other night because I thought America was going to be taken back from the communists, but apparently we went full CCP. So that's the way it goes. Oh man, I think I should. I've got an idea, an amazing idea. I need a baseball cap. Okay. Oh, there's one up there. There's a baseball cap. Good. Ah, shit. So, we're back. All right. I think the reason I'm stuck at 164 subscribers is that I have a boring look. I need to work on my image as a YouTuber. And I noticed that the YouTubers that have 30,000, 100,000 followers, subscribers on whatever this is called, YouTube, I noticed that they have a certain look and a certain way of talking, a youthful way of talking. They have gold chains, they have hoodies, and they often have these sports caps. But I don't really follow sports, but I do have the Sinclair dinosaur hat. So, and I don't have any gold chains, man. I don't think I do. But I have some beads from like the Mardi Gras, and I've got one of these little tails. They're supposed to hang out of your gas tank to show you got a tiger in your tank. So I think if I put these on, all right, and then I think this way, this is the Gratu show. Breaker. Oh, see, I've been using this microphone for years. I didn't realize it was a CB microphone. But see, this is the Cowboy Gratu show. I'm gonna be showing you some of the greatest comic books ever published by human beings. Let's take a look, shall we? Son of a bitch. Well, but see, that's the way I do it if I wear it that way. But if I wear it this way, it's like then I'm youthful and I can get 100,000 subscribers and I can start making money from YouTube, right? So it's like yo, this is the Gratu Orloff show. I'm gonna be showing you some comics to spec on, and then we're gonna be open up some statues of Venom and Carnage. And you know what? You really need to spec on this. This is something not many people know. You know that Wanda from the Avengers movies and the TV show? You know, she's also known as the Scarlet Witch. So you need to be specking on any of these comic books. I'll show you some comics. And she's got the Scarlet Witch thing, just like in the commercial for the new Scarlet Witch. I mean, whatever the fucking show it's called. You need to get that, man, Spec on those yo comics, because they're gonna be worth lots of money. You know, oh look, it's gotta be 40 variant covers for this issue coming out. If you get in a time machine, go back to 1971. Oh, yes. I've got to figure out a way to get new subscribers. Yes, there's a guy, Jim Mint Collectibles, that he opens statues that cost hundreds of dollars, and then he has walls of omnibuses behind him. And how much has he spent on all those omnibuses? The world may never know. What is this shit? Shosh, lipusha, muku, masanta, mulusampanta, sampotatitu. Oh, wow. Cool stuff. Actually, an issue of Henry Aldrich. All right. That should go here. And some original artwork from Night Tiger Comics. Let's put that there. And some promotional advertisements. This must be some free comic, something that's... this is something that this character would love. Check it out. Look it. This is the greatest thing. Look. It's good because, you know, no one likes to read comics and it doesn't have any words. So this is the one to Spec on. I'm going to send it off to CGC. I think I could get a 9.8. Look, it doesn't have any color breaks. Ooh, wow, I'm going to get it slabbed because who reads comics? You put them on the wall to impress people on YouTube, right? Oh, my God. This guy... oh, we got a Spec on this. This guy just left because he got pissed off at the Justice League movies. And then there's a skinny cyborg that's in the Teen Titans TV, this Titan show, but the other guy that's... who gives a shit? Alright, that's not going to work. I'll just put that on for... I'll go into different characters from time to time. And hilarious. Yeah. Okay, alright. I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't know if anything will work. Goodbye. Goodbye, Mr. Bond. Goodbye, Mr. Space Goblin, who becomes aroused and excited when we're in the Golden Age Silver Age room. I don't think that's going to work either, and that probably just woke up my wife downstairs. I hope not. Can you imagine being awakened by that cacophony? I said cacophony the other day, and she referred to it's cacophony. See, I don't like this shit. Comic boxes should not be made this way. The old comic boxes were this way on both sides. I don't like this new design. When did they switch to it? I don't know. They did it sometime when I was sleeping. Can't trust these communists. Okay. I'm getting some alphabetization done. I watched the first press conference for the new Biden administration. Boy, am I going to miss Kayleigh McEnany. She was great. They got the new press secretary is this weird looking woman with dyed red hair that's chopped right here. They were asking her all these softball questions like, is Biden going to change the colors of the Air Force One that Trump changed? Is he going to change them back? You know, it's like, and she said, well, that's a good question, but I don't know yet because we've been doing so much. They did all this stuff. He signed all these executive orders, everything he could do to try to destroy what Trump has been doing. Trump signed an executive order that they would have the 1776 projects at school, like history teachers would have to teach American history correctly instead of just making us look like total bastards all the way along. And of course it never would have worked because teachers never would have done it. Social studies teachers, you know, social studies teacher, I mean, she was a friend of mine. I mean, I liked her at my school, but she was very left-wing, and she would talk to her kids about that orange Cheeto that in the White House. You know, she'd always, I mean, that's completely inappropriate, I think. Okay, Korak, Kol, Khazar. No, Khazar comes before Kol. Khazar comes before Korak. These kind of statements would make a normal person think we're insane. But we know better. Lucy, the real gone gal. She's gone like a cool breeze. JKL. So, little Lulu. Okay, so little Lulu, then Lucy, then, oh shit, then Mad. While I'm in the L's, we've got Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes, indeed. Iron Man, Iron Man, Iron Man, Iron Man, John Steele, Jumbo, JKJ, Justice League. Wait, I have a Bronze Age? No, that's Silver Age. Okay. JKKK. Ooh, no, not at that. Archie. Oh, that's Laugh, but without a cover. Little. Yeah, little dot. Thank you, Felix Maldonado, for finding out that this is Laugh number 38. And apparently all you've got to do, and then Captain Strangelove said, all you have to do is type in like the name of a story and like that story into Google, and then it'll link you to mycomicshop.com, or you can go to mycomicshop.com because oftentimes they list the stories in that issue, and that's the way we found out. Well, I already found out it was Laugh, but I didn't know the number, so he was able to find out the number. So that's cool. And those Laugh comics from that time period are kind of pricey. I noticed on mycomicshop.com. Little Lulu, Lucy, Looney Tunes goes before Lucy. Yes. Without the cap, I don't know. It's not quite. Well, back to the Sir Gratu. We're here at the Love's Truck Stop, looking at T-Man comic books. And, Yeah, guys, you ever see Smokey and the Bandit? Well, that was a great movie. But you know what's really good was The Cowboys with John Wayne from 1972. I went to see that with my uncle, and then we went out deer hunting. And uh, then, um, and then we went out hunting for bear. Yeah, yep. You know, television had not been the same since they canceled Daniel Boone. That was the greatest show, motherfucker. That was great. They had Ed Ames playing an Indian in that. Remember the Indians in Blazing Saddles? You imagine if someone tried to release Blazing Saddles today in theaters? The theaters would be burned down. Somehow you could get away with stuff in the 70s, you know, like National Lampoon. It was, I mean, you could never do that today. And, oh, well, those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. We thought they'd last forever and a day. And pinball, ladies and gentlemen. What's ever happened to pinball? Okay. Space Adventures. Secret Romance, Shield, Silver Surfer, Special Marvel, Space Adventures is good before Special Marvel Edition, Tarzan, you say Tarzan and I say you say Tarzan and I say, you say Tarzan and I say Tarzan, oh, let's call the whole thing off. You say Khazar and I say Khazar. You say Command-D and I say Command-I. It'll never work. Right? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. My childhood suspicion that it's pronounced Command-D, it was correct. I was corrected, and you know, I was like, don't you remember in the first issue, Command-D? I must have read that in 1972 and just kind of know it. Some of these Golden Age boards do not... God damn, this little fucking box from today. The Golden Age boards are too wide and they stick. Fucking... Nothing works today. Pieces of shit. T-Man... would go after Tarzan, but before Submariner. Neutro. Sounds like a dog food. Neutro. Mars Patrol, Marvel Tales, Maisie. Oh, I hate looking at Maisie because it looks like Kayleigh McEnany, and then I remember that the Trump era is over. But if he starts his own television network, a station, then, oh, that's what I was going to tell you, really. My Secret Life, Mysterious Suspense, Our Fighting Forces, Real Screen Comics, Neutral. If you look on YouTube, all the stuff that happened yesterday, like the big extravaganza with Bruce Springsteen and all the other idiot performers, and last night, the official White House site, it had 1,800 views, which is absolutely pathetic. I remember the Trump rallies, just generic Trump rallies would have, just on right side broadcasting, they'd have like, seems like 250,000 people watching any given one. just on that, and then on other people were broadcasting on YouTube also. It's like nobody cares, nobody's watching, nobody can listen to this guy. He's incredibly boring. I mean, everybody knows. And then most of them have disabled the comments, but the ones where they don't disable the comments, you ought to read them. It's like every person's tearing him apart, and I mean, he's not like. I mean, it's no matter what they tell him. You can't talk about that. You're not supposed to talk about it, but he's not popular. You know, it's incredible how unpopular he is. It's just astounding. But you're not supposed to talk about that. No, he's a great guy. Everyone loves him. Like in North Korea, they have to fall down crying, "Oh, our wonderful leader," and smile. If you don't smile, they take you off to a re-education camp. And then if some rich person from the West needs one of your organs, it gets taken out. Yes, indeed. Re-education. That's what we need here on the Gratu Orlov channel. We need to be re-educated because we think incorrectly. Like, this would never be published today. Imagine seeing that in a 7-Eleven. Oh, the good old days. Oh, yes, indeed. The sad music that reminds us that the past is gone. The days of Pebbles Flintstone. She's grown up and joined a rock band, and now is a 60-year-old living in Poughkeepsie. Okay. Do you file this under P or F for Flintstones? I mean, are you going to be a stickler? I'm going to be a stickler and put it under P for Pebbles. Hey. These are first world problems. People, like every so often, you know, there was only one video where I play this music in the background. One video, it would not play. The video was not allowed because it had, no, that happened to me twice. The music was not allowed, or one, it was because it had the stupid Buck Rogers TV show pictures in the background on the screen behind me. But another one, some song caused it to not but usually what it is, it'll be some like reggae song or some girl singer from Britain or something, and it'll say, "This is not a copyright strike against you. It just there's a certain song, it'll name the song. This will not this will cause your video to not be playable in certain countries." And it's and the countries are North Korea, Iran, Syria, and Cuba, which I never even dreamed that they even had YouTube or internet period access. So that means if you're living in North Korea, you can watch all of Gratu's videos except for maybe 4 or 5 with, like, there's a couple of reggae. Why do they don't want reggae getting to these people? Why? It's always a reggae song that trips it. Like "The Tide is High" by the Paragons, which I didn't even know until relatively recently. The Blondie song "The Tide is High" was originally a reggae song. So when I found it, it's like, wow, that's cool. Let's get Huckleberry Hound in his proper position. And then once they're all loaded in these 2 boxes, then I'm going to file them into these Silver Age, Golden Age boxes, and then I'll take you along on that journey as well. See, what we're trying to do is keep from looking at the TV where we realize that the reality is all too true, that our country has been taken over. But you're not supposed to talk about that. You don't talk about that. Well, Doctor Strange, Doc Savage. Okay. Doc Savage, Doctor. S comes before T, so Doc Savage, you're before Doctor Strange. Dinosaurus. This is probably actually called Movie Comics or something, or Four Color or something, but I'm just going to go ahead and file it under D. Because I can't allow the anal retentive, I can't allow the obsessive compulsive part of my brain to reemerge. I've had trouble with that in my past, and I've overcome it, and I can't, you know, with the hand washing and stuff, and it seems to run in my family, coming from my mom, who would wash her hands so much that they would crack and literally look like the Boris Karloff's mummy hands. And then my older brother became such a clean freak like Howard Hughes, and he would carry a paper towel around in his shirt pocket or in the pocket of his pants that was drenched in Lysol, and he'd use that to open doorknobs and stuff. And so he'd come into a room and it'd immediately smell overwhelmingly of Lysol. I couldn't take it. So that madness runs in my family. And I remember when I was in elementary school, when we first moved to Arlington, which I call Gratouville, it was just horrible. And you have to make new friends and everything. And I remember at the end of the day, the bell would ring to go home, and I'd look in my desk and make sure there's nothing I'm leaving behind. Then I'd look again, and then I look a third time. I had to look 3 times in the desk, even though the first time, obviously, there was nothing there. You have to do these rituals. You have to wash your hands. And I remember Batman was about to start. You know, they ran Batman in the afternoon in 1976 when we first moved here. So I'd wash my hands. And then I'd walk about 7 feet away from the sink, and then I'd have to go back and wash them again. And it's just like, what's going on? My mind is short-circuiting. And if this happens to you too, it's a sign. The good thing is supposed to be happen just to smart people. So they compliment right before they tell you, but you got a horrible problem and you got to overcome it. And I think they have medicine for it now, but it's better to overcome things naturally, and I just did it through sheer force of will. But I think since comic book collectors tend to be not stupid people, I think they know that, and they're preying on us with these variant covers where you feel like, I gotta get all of them. The Eternals came out and there's 39 different covers. I've got to get all of them. And you wind up spending $200-300 having a bunch of copies of the same comic just to have, and some of them have blank covers. It's like they're laughing at you. It's like, draw your own cover. You get a white cover, or you get the cover without the color printed on it. It's black and sometimes the variant covers are beautiful. I realize that, but they are preying on us, and I don't like that, and I don't like the social justice warrior crap going on. I don't know. I hear these stories about Marvel and DC, and I don't like it. And I remember when they first announced, we're going to have Spider-Man. He's going to be half Latino, half African American, and he's going to be bisexual, and he's going to be called Miles Morales. And I thought, oh, but then I saw that movie Through the Multiverse or whatever, and it's like, okay, I guess the character is all right, but it seems like he was designed to make social justice warrior bullies just be happy. And I didn't see any of the elements that he's bisexual in that movie, but that's what I originally heard. And I thought, well, now I just, it just seems like Tip Topper goes before Tippy Terry. Tip Topper goes after Tippy Terry. Is he bisexual in the comics? I don't know. I mean, how do they put that into the comics? That's... I keep thinking that these are aimed at 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds, which originally they were. But, yeah, the more I hear stories about things like that, it drives me to these older comics, and I have... I'm not that excited about the newer ones. Another tip topper. 23, 22. Turok, son of Roger Stone. Roger Stone's a lot older than he appears. Roger Stone, I love the guy. That's another thing that Democrats hate that guy. He's got a tattoo, a giant tattoo on his back of Richard Nixon. I mean, the guy is hilarious. People that I like tend to be absolutely hated by and vilified by. Oh, shit! This is another one that the wide, stupid comic box. They gotta be. You need to make the comic boxes wide enough, guys, for the Golden Age comics. Those of you that work at BCW or whatever the name of the stupid companies are that make these things. Because they fit your Miles Morales Venom comics, but they don't fit the good stuff. Like T-Man, International Trouble Fighter. That was wild. Night Tiger Comics was using this carousel amusement park music in one of his videos, and the same day, I think almost to the same minute, we both put up videos using this kind of music. Astounding. At least you don't have to worry about copyright when they record a carousel going around. You don't. At least you would hope not. Zane Grey. This is probably a 4-color comic, I've been told, but I'm going to put it at the end of the alphabet. X, Y, Z. Zane Grey would be like the only thing that would come after X-Men, pretty much. Except for Zap Comics, and Zap, I'm not putting with the regular comics. I'm now putting Underground Comics separate from my it just makes more sense. Cave Kids. Cave Kids. Cave Kids, Cave Girl. Cave Kids after Cave Girl. Freedom Agent. Freedom Agent. Now, Get Smart was a parody of James Bond and Man from U.N.C.L.E., right? It was created by Mel Brooks and Buck Henry. Now, oh, my mind. So you hire a comedian, right, to play your James Bond character, Maxwell Smart. But what if you were a World War II veteran or Korean War veteran and watched Get Smart, you would realize that when Maxwell Smart handled guns or a machine gun, that you can really tell he knows what he's doing because he was a World War II vet. So maybe I wouldn't be able to spot it, but if you know guns it's like all of a sudden you realize he's not that much of a fuck up. He really knows what he's doing. Because, yeah, that's a little bit of trivia. Don Adams, the actor, the comedian. Don Adams. Forever Maxwell Smart in our minds. It really was a great show. Yogi Bear's birthday party. Wonder Woman, World's Finest. Yogi Bear, X-Men, Yogi Bear, Zane Grey. Yeah. Yeah, man, these comics do not fit. Alright. Turok, son of Roger Stone. Yeah, if I was Donald Trump, I'd start my own news network, and I'd hire Roger Stone, Kayleigh McEnany. I'd hire everyone that would piss off Steve Bannon, all these people, and then make sure that you always talk as Donald Trump comes on his network and talks. Whenever Biden is supposed to schedule to speak, you go on and speak on your network and draw 4 or 5 times as big an audience, and that's how you prove your point. I think that things will become so fucked up that even people that voted for him will change their minds, except for the dead people that voted for him. They probably will change. Well, up in heaven, they'll go, oh, I can't believe someone voted for me. How embarrassing. Not that ever happened, because you're not allowed to suggest that something like that could ever happen, but if that happened with John F. Kennedy. Dead people voted for him. And he's a president that we revere. He really was like the last real, I think, Kennedy, then Reagan, and then Trump, about only people in the last 50, 60 years. Eisenhower was a real human being. And maybe Nixon wasn't as bad as they say, because, you see how the press lies now? That question everything they say now. I was told by all media and all magazines and Mad Magazine, everything, that Nixon was just a horrid person. So now you wonder, was he really? Because okay, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. THE would be filed under T, because THE is the organization he works for. It's abbreviated, should have dots, should be abbreviated. It's not just the normal the article. The cat. Okay, it would be before, after Tales to Astonish, before Thor. Only 3 more to file. Thrillorama. Incredible Hulk. I think I've been filing it. Do I file it under H or I? I used to just file it. Now there's another Hulk that's the Immortal Hulk that I may eventually try to get, because I hear that it's great. But I think if I did, I'd just file both under H. Merrill's Marauders. don't think I've ever seen an episode of Merrill's Marauders. It was never syndicated, and you know, hell, I was born in '65, so unless shows were syndicated, I don't really have a lot of memory of the '60s. Okay, I gotta take this stuff off. The hell? It's so hilarious. Be seeing you.